Hello YouTube, Sidekick here in my Su-25T taking off from Saipan International Airport, which may sound like an odd combination, so let me explain what's going on. In my last video, I did a bit of a tour of the new Marianas map, and in the video I mentioned that I was looking forward to setting up a bombing range on the map because, well, that's what I do. But then Matt Wagner, Wags, from Eagle Dynamics commented on my video and pointed out that there is actually already a bombing range on the map. It's an island called Farallon de Medinilla, excuse my Spanish if I got that wrong, which I thought was pretty exciting. The island is not, however, all that obvious. In fact, I had to resort to looking it up on Wikipedia to find it. It turns out that it's about 100 kilometers almost due north of Saipan, and the Wikipedia entry notes that satellite imagery of the island shows 3 X-shaped figures and 1 Y-shaped figure in its northern half built out of metal shipping containers. These arrangement of shipping containers were left by the U.S. Navy for bomb targeting practice. And sure enough, as you'll see, these features are in fact reproduced in the DCS map. So in effect, there's a bombing range with targets built in sitting out there on the map already. And really the only thing that it needs to make it fully functional is to instrument it, which I'm going to do by adding my own usual range script, which also requires adding a zone for each target. So that's what I did, and I made a mission. I also added 1 target of my own, a linear target, lower part of the island. We'll take a look at that once we get out there. But I wanted to release the range essentially as a mission, so that anyone could go, could build on that and add whatever aircraft or aircraft carriers or any other units that they wanted. But I wanted to make sure that the base mission could be flown by anybody who owns DCS. So I made the base mission with the Su-25T, and that's how we ended up flying an Su-25T out of Saipan. So everyone who uses DCS should be able to go out and do some bombing on the Marianas map using this very simple mission. Or you can use it as the basis for your own more complex missions. Missions available on my Discord server, and I'll also post it to the ED Files site. So thanks Wags for the tip, and for everybody else, sit back and enjoy the trip out to the range. So as you can see, we're just passing the northern end of Saipan there. I've got the autopilot on, and you can see that we've got about another 60 kilometers to go. That's actually just to an initial point. You can just see the island on the horizon out there, though. So it's bearing something like 20 degrees from northern Saipan. The initial point's about 30 or so kilometers short of the actual range, so that gives you some idea of the distances involved. So, I'm going to speed up time here in a minute. We'll just get all the way out to the initial point. There's no need to just sit and watch me fly for 60 kilometers. What else do we need to know? So we're flying in an Su-25T. We've got 4 Fab 250 bombs loaded, and we also have 4 rocket pods of the S-13s. So here we are coming up on our initial point, getting close to the range, so time to start descending. I'm going to do the usual thing that I do whenever I fly on a range. I'm going to do a trim run, which means I'm going to fly right down past the range, full power, shallow dive, just get the aircraft trimmed out so that when I do the actual bombing runs, it's not fighting me in the dive. It's kind of an overlooked part of setting up for any kind of iron bombing run, but I find that it really does improve my results. So we'll just do it here. It also gives us a chance to do a flyby the island and see what it looks like and get ourselves oriented. So we're about 20 kilometers away now. So what we're going to find when we get out there is that there are actually built into the terrain scenery, there are a series of shipping containers, as the Wikipedia entry said. There's one of them that's a Y and 3 of them that are X's. So we don't actually have to add any static elements to actually make the targets, although, as I said, I added some static elements myself to make a 5th target, which is basically a linear target in case you want to do something where you're practicing attacking a convoy or something like that. So as I alluded to, what I have added to the mission is, if you check in the mission editor, you see that I've just added zones, one for each of the targets, and then there are triggers that load the MIST Lua framework, and then my own range script file. The range script file is actually derived from one that Siri Bob produced a while back. I've modified it for my own purposes a couple of times since then. The version that is in this mission will report the location of each bomb as well as the direction from the target. And this version will also add a small smoke mark to each bomb strike so that you can turn around, go back and look and see exactly where the bombs hit. So here we're coming up on the island. The linear target is on that lower section of the map, and then you can see that there are 4 targets. There's 1, 2, 3, and 4 white crosses made out of shipping containers. So, having got ourselves trimmed out, now we're going to climb out in a left-hand turn, come around, and let's start attacking those targets. So, as per usual, with a range run, we're going to do a left-hand turn, climbing left-hand turn, come abreast of the targets, and then we're going to turn in and set up our run. So we're going to do a run with the Fab 250s first. So basically a dive bombing run. I think I'm going to take the target that's closest to the far end of the island. That way, if we do hit it and get some smoke, it won't interfere if we want to take some targets that are closer to the other end. So we're just coming around here, just getting ourselves set up. Try and do a fairly steep approach on this first dive bombing run. Getting ourselves worked out. The clouds make life just a little bit interesting. That's good. And we're just about ready to roll in. Just closing it up just a little bit more. Pulling back on the power. Close it up just a little bit more. And get the speed brakes out. And get the lift vector on the target. Pull up. Roll out. Get the CCIP pipper below the target. Wait for the launch authority. There it is.
Pull up.
And there they go.
Pull up. Pull up.
Good hits. All right, so our inaugural rounds on the Marianas map bombing range have been dropped, and they were a pretty good strike. And now you can also see in the background. Now, the flame is not mine. I believe that the flame is actually because we actually hit the shipping containers on the map. The smoke, however, comes from the range script. So if we had missed entirely, we probably wouldn't be getting the flame, but we would get a couple of marks that showed us where the bombs had gone. Okay, well, let's go around and do another dive bombing run and get rid of the last 2 Fab 250s, and then we can do a rocket run. So maybe we'll try and do a slightly less dramatic dive bombing run this time. So if you want to know more about dropping iron bombs, either in the Su-25T or in fact in any of the other aircraft in DCS, if you are new to the channel, there's lots of videos about that. It's kind of one of the things I specialize in. So if any of the things I'm saying here aren't making sense, it's probably because I do this all the time, and you may want to go back and check some of the earlier videos. can also drop by my Discord server. Happy to chat about iron bombing and DCS anytime. Alright, so we're getting ourselves rolled in here. Got the speed brakes on, so this is a much shallower dive angle this time. But the same procedure, we pull the lift vector up to the target, roll out the pipper below the target, get ourselves aligned, pull up beyond the target, and just wait for the launch authority. And there it is, and there they go.
Pull up.
And another couple of good hits. Alright, so we're off to a great start here on our brand new bombing range on the Mariana Islands. Let's go around one more time. This time we'll go a little bit farther south. And we'll try the S-13 rockets, and we'll see if we can take out that linear target that I added to the range. Yeah, looks like we have fairly comprehensively destroyed some very serious shipping containers there. So you can get a glimpse of that linear targets on that lower section of the island. It's basically just 5 shipping containers long. And again, so the idea is if you want to practice something where you're trying to distribute bombs across the target, gives you something to practice on. And once again, we also get to appreciate the eye candy that is the Marianas map. Even when there isn't a whole lot of land present, it really is a very picturesque place to be flying. And of course, it's worth repeating that everything that is happening in this mission comes absolutely free with the basic download of the base game. The SU-25T and the Marianas map are both available. You don't have to have purchased anything from Eagle Dynamics to be enjoying this mission, although hopefully if you do enjoy this mission, it will inspire you to invest a little bit more and join the DCS community. There's certainly lots of different ways to enjoy digital combat in DCS. Alright, so we're coming around here. This is going to be a much shallower dive angle. Now, the trick is we're trying to line ourselves up so we're coming straight down that linear target, and we're going to try and distribute all 4 pods of the S-13s all the way along that target. Got the speed brakes out again. Same procedure, pulling the lift vector up to the target, roll out, get the pipper below the target. Okay, we're already inside the launch range, but I'd like to get a little bit closer, a little bit tighter grouping of the rockets. And we're just going to let the pipper come up to the target. And there. Nice, covered the target really well. And pull up, and that's Winchester. So we'll probably just swing around here one time and take another quick look at the range before we say goodbye. Just go around here to the left again. So that's the Farallon de Medinilla bombing range on the Marianas map. Even if you don't want to use my version of the range, it's out there if you want to go drop some bombs on it. So once again, thanks to Wags for the tip. It would have been pretty tough to find if you didn't know where to look for it, that's for sure. But I think it's a great addition to the map. I'm really glad that Eagle Dynamics decided to put it on there. And I do hope that you do try the mission, either from my Discord server or from the ED Files site. But by all means, drop by the Discord server and tell us if you enjoyed the mission and how you did. And hopefully you'll build your own missions using the bombing range and get some use out of it. Well, there we go. That's a good look at the range. And a successful first bombing range mission. I don't think it's going to be the last. All right, well, I hope that you've enjoyed the video. I hope that you get a chance to try the mission and enjoy the bombing range yourself. As always, if you're enjoying this videos, please like and subscribe to the channel, and hey, tell a couple of your friends to do that as well. And for now, this is going to be Sidekick, signing off.